Okay. So, how do you explain that there are a couple of concerns and even fears on the side of ISKCON devotees, even ISKCON leaders, from a historical point of view? You said in our last discussion that you consider yourself as a student of history.
I think it's perfectly natural that some devotees, including some leaders, are concerned and maybe a little bit uneasy. I think that's natural because when human beings, even human beings practicing bhakti yoga, because we still have our human aspect. In fact, in those times in ISKCON when we tried to deny our human dimension, didn't go so well. So, as human beings, if we are completely fixed in a certain way of doing things, and everyone does it that way, or everyone at least agrees that's the way ultimately it should be done, and then someone comes up with a different idea, even if that different idea ultimately is not against the tradition, it just wants to balance certain things and add certain things, it's a perfectly normal human reaction to be alarmed. For one thing, because I have not been actively working with the other leaders for many years at a GBC level for various reasons in my own life. The main reason is, trying to recover from the early years and what we went through.
Okay.
And so people fear the unknown. So even though people know that I've been in ISKCON a long time, but what is he up to now? What's he going to do now? And so because they don't see me all the time, they don't talk to me, and because I have a certain influence with devotees, with many devotees around the world, there's, I think, in a sense, a rational fear. Because as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, intelligence in the mode of goodness is to know what is actually dangerous or not dangerous. So I really believe that I am not dangerous to ISKCON. In fact, I think I may even help ISKCON. But still, given their limited knowledge about me, I think their concern is somewhat rational. And the solution is to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And because ISKCON is a large global society, because everyone is very busy and going here and there, it just takes some time before people get to a comfort level in terms of their understanding. Because I can say something, and fairness to people that are concerned about this program, and because I want to be fair to them and not just defend myself. In fact, I just wrote a letter to our communications minister about this, that because for many years I was inside of ISKCON, but outside of, you could say, the traditional types of association. I didn't go to many of these big festivals. There are just certain places and certain occasions where everyone gets together and talks to each other and maintains friendships and so on and so forth. And for many years, I have kept a distance from those things. And I think that was an intelligent decision on my part, not because the devotees are, not good, but just for various reasons, personal reasons. I just think it was the right thing to do for me. Mm-hmm. And so because of that, I think I developed a certain objectivity in my vision. And I think, frankly, an objectivity which is not always possible when you're right in the middle of something, whatever it is. I mean, for example, probably some devotees outside of Krishna West can see certain things about it that I can't see because I'm in the middle of Krishna West. And so it's just a general rule for everyone that you sometimes need to hear from other people about yourself or about what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So I believe that in being loyal to ISKCON, but in a sense physically removed from it, that I developed a certain objectivity. At the same time, because I was not, you could say, invested in cooperation. I mean, obviously, I want ISKCON to be successful and peaceful. But apart from that, I really didn't care like people think. Like, I don't care what you think about me. I don't care what you think about my ideas. I'm going to speak what I think is true, and my concern is my own integrity and not what you think about me. Mm-hmm. Which is nice, but that also has its limits. So, in other words, so because I was in that mood, I expressed myself sort of in a strong way, and in a way that startled many people. And my mother, actually, when I was a child, my mother used to say to me, "It's not what you say, it's how you say it." And so now that Krishna West is growing, and I'm becoming re-engaged with devotees and working with other leaders, and I have to think about things that I never thought about for many years, like regional councils and temple presidents and GBCs, because for many years it just wasn't part of my life. But now, because Krishna West is growing, and there are leaders, councils, and GBCs, and presidents, and regional GBCs, who have a legitimate interest in what we're doing because it affects them. And so I respect and I recognize the legitimacy of their concern, because if something affects you, then you have a natural right to be involved in how that thing that affects you is developing. And so I respect that, and therefore now you could say I'm in a process of reintegrating myself at an administrative level, and even you could say sort of reestablishing old relationships. Now, when I was a GBC and I had a very large, I would say, extremely cooperative. In fact, you can test this. You can go back and look at all the old GBC records for GBC meetings for many, many years, and what you'll find is that there was hardly ever a problem with my zone. Because basically GBC meetings deal with problems. You know, they may have like for a half hour, everybody gets to say all the nice things that happen in their zone, you know, and everyone gets 5 minutes or something. But basically GBC meetings are about problems. And go back and look at the GBC records. You'll find that my zone in Latin America or Florida almost never caused any trouble to ISKCON. In fact, it was probably the zone that caused the least trouble.